And of course, for the people like Professor Kukate, whom I keep on interacting regularly, I keep on getting the updates of how you move. See, I think a number of things I have listed in this actually. The people who read the convocation address, you'll get the message of what I want to really convey actually. India always has felt something, we go to the conferences, go to the meetings, and it's something which has always hurt me. We say we are behind somebody. Why are you behind somebody? A civilization of several thousand-year-old back, and Charaka's, Shushrutas, legacies in medicine also there. And you look across the last 40, 50, 100 years also, recent history also. Lot of people in the, whether from public health, from the medicine, from surgery, different disciplines, they made the name. They've created technologies, they've created operations, they've created the method of management, the method of diagnosis. So if India has done so much historically for thousands of years, why you should be behind somebody? So the first message is, you create your own pathway. You decide what is required actually. Don't follow anyone. Your agenda, your life is your agenda. Society's agenda is your agenda. You don't have to be following US, you don't have to be following any other country, you don't have to be following anyone. So I think that's the first message I would like to convey to the young students. When you move out today, and you would have already started, you moved out and you already would have made the plans. Well, for a while, your jobs, the compulsion of jobs, compulsion of where you are, you will have to adjust to that. But that's okay, that's the adjustment. But within your heart, you make your determination that you will make an imprint. You will understand wherever you set up a hospital, clinic, be a part of an institution, whatever you do. But you will decide your fate. You will decide your pathway. And ultimately, you will not follow anyone. So follower of none, because we belong to a civilization which has created history. No point of being arrogant, because we lost also. There's no point of being arrogant, because we morally, socially also degraded. But we are reviving. The genes are there. The pool is there. So I think that's the first message I want to leave. The second message, again, I flagged here actually. See, in my entire career, some people have really influenced me actually. And one such report is a Bohr Committee report. All the people in the preventive social medicine, there's one paragraph, some one page, and it talks of Bohr Committee. But when I actually moved again across the ladder in my career actually, from a researcher, scientist, doctor, then ultimately a bureaucrat, then I started going into depth of that. I read all the 4 volumes. These 4 volumes have been created by the last Health Commissioner of British India, Sir Joseph Bohr. He was born in Nasik here, 1902 batch ICS officer, one of the topper of his time. He was even the secretary to many commissions, Simon Commission also, many other commissions also. But these 4 volumes, you go through them, they teach a lot. And the modern India's healthcare was built around that, his last report actually. Pandit Nehru, in the very first cabinet meeting in 1951, this entire public health structure came. And the 10 years progress of that time was equal to next 50 years. So I think the foundation for the healthcare in this country was laid by this report. And he said in this, I think, that nobody should be denied access to the healthcare if he or she doesn't have the capacity to pay. So tomorrow when you grow as a doctor, actually, your first fundamental is to pay the services. Your money will come if you are in a private practice. If you're in a government job, certainly you are already paid something to work for it. But nobody, at any stage in your life, you will not deny the care to the services, to the person who needs. I think if you make that determination, that the career is worth. Otherwise, you should not have come. Otherwise, there's no difference between you and a butcher sitting somewhere. Butcher may be more human than you, because he's supposed to cut. But if you cut for that and you discriminate the people depending on the capacity to pay, I think your life is, the most inglorious and most, and usually the worst among the animals, I'll call that way. So I think you don't want to be that way. So please try to consider that part. This just Joseph Bohr's commitment you will keep in your mind. Then, another, and this is again something which is there in the Alma Ata Declaration also. Alma Ata Declaration also talks of the same. Then another concept actually. The India is again, has gone haywire somewhere. You look at the British period. And the period between 1900 to say 1947. Lot of science happened from this country. It was done by the British army officers, some of the Indians also, some of the foreigners also. It was done in the medical colleges of that time, which were a few on in number, but they did a lot of science. Then again, next 30 years, 50s, 60s, 70s, again it was a growth. Then India went haywire. We lost the referral system. There's no organized medical care system down the bottom. People thought of going to a super specialist is a growth. You're getting a better care. So the super specialists and super specialists started mushrooming. Your actual care went quite fairly down, actually. I think it's very difficult to reverse immediately because the society is not changing, responding that way. But I think you'll have to reverse someday. Britain, who founded the healthcare, they're still organized. It is a referral system for the GP to specialist and super specialist. And less than 7% people access these specialists and super specialists in UK. Less than 7%. The range is between 5 to 7%. And that's the requirement in this country also. But ultimately it's gone the other way around. So, but I think my point I would like to hear, the health is a total, physical, mental, social well-being, which is there in the definition of, again, Alma Ata also, WHO definitions everywhere. And Gandhiji talked about this 1906 actually. That time he started with the spirituality first, followed your economic, following your physical. Physical was the last. But that again he kept that it is in that order. That's something, a wholesome concept actually. So Alma Ata thought more than 100 years later actually. So the point was, anybody, whether it's like a political persons like Dr. Patil who's sitting here, the health begins right from the social well-being. So as a doctor, actually, what do you do? What's your role? I am only treating. What's my problem? Certainly you should be the best in treating the cases, people. But you should be a social reformer same time because people listen to you. You look in the recent period, the maximum doctors who enter the public health, even if they're clinicians, hardcore clinicians, gastroenterologists, neurologists, they do wonders because people listen to them. So I think that leverage you should never leave. So you have a responsibility for a holistic care actually. So when you grow as individuals, please don't go on dissecting, you may become a cardiologist, nephrologist because that's what the society respects. But ultimately, who's the best? A general medicine person. He or she is able to handle everything. A pediatrician who's able to handle everything, and that's what the need of the people. As a specialist also. So I think those intermediate degrees, when you do as a surgery, you do in the medicine, you do in the pediatrics, you do in obstetric gynecology, you should do the best at that stage also after MBBS, because you already passed out there. Then you try to build your personality or whatever you do want to do extra. That's the separate. But then the pathway goes through the same. Why am I emphasizing this point? See, we define medicine as art and science. Art is your clinical skills. And they make one doctor different than the other. And this is known historically, whether you are Ayurvedic physician, Unani physician, you are an allopath. So your over-dependence on technology has diluted you. Really, you're not required also. The robot can do the same job. And if it is to be done that way. But I tell you, that's all leading to a poorer and poorer prognosis. That's not actually improving. That provides you a capacity to do much things faster, do something which a normal human being cannot do by artificial intelligence, by robots, by the new kind of molecular tools, but they do not change the outcome. You are there, you have chosen the profession to change the outcome. So that means you have to be the primary. Your clinical skills, your skills in the laboratory as a pathologist, they cannot be, a radiologist cannot be replaced by the computers. They'll help you only to do better. So I think at any stage, don't let your clinical skills be secondary to the technology. I've seen that happening. I've attended many conferences because after I became this new position, techno-bureaucrat, and then even my last 5 years as a career also, when I'm no longer a government secretary, but I do handle the same type of jobs. I find that, I think that's really not, there's twisting actually. You pick up on more and more people technology-oriented, and then you're losing the initiative actually. So I think youngsters who are beginning the career there today, do think of it. See, BLD has created I think, a niche for itself. I tell you, that's started talking, and then when the Professor Kokate talked of, of course, I was very keen to come here earlier also. But when Professor Kokate gave a call and he connected me to the Vice Chancellor, I was again very keen. See, your 8 out of the 800 ICMR short-term fellowships have come from this institution. That means 1% of the country, okay? And you are not a 1% of the country in the medical college-wise, or 500 you are one. So that means your success rates have been 5 times more than a normal medical college. That's your success. That is the compliment to the teaching faculty here which is working here. That is the compliment to the Vice Chancellor, Principal, and the leadership of people like Dr. Patil, who are giving the free hand people to think actually. They are nurturing young minds. These youngsters tomorrow will create a history actually. So I don't think the people who have not got the STS, they can't create history. They will also create history. But this is a symbol of a growing institution. For me, this was the only benchmark, I tell you, when I started looking at ICMR side also. And I started watching, because as a bureaucrat, I used to see the things from a different angle. From a doctor, I was different. Scientist, I was different. But then this was something which was fascinating me. So I think this institution has a very, very bright future, but a lot of responsibility, you know. After people start watching you, they watch you. They watch you for good things, they watch you for bad things also. So I think the responsibility of the faculty, responsibility for everybody is to be very careful, to be very competitive now, to have a greater sense of responsibility than they would have had 10 years back, because you know the nation is watching you. And nation will give you support also, looking at what you do actually, how you improve the clinical care, which technologies you introduce, what type of new publications started happening from this area, how your innovations and it influences the public health. Then your people, a lot of submitting the grants to the national agencies. See, at the moment, there are 8 science agencies. I'm now addressing the faculty here now, and also the youngsters who will go out. There are 8 science agencies which fund health research. And have you applied to them? But when you will apply to them, they look at the respect which the institution has started enjoying, but then they will look at what? Have you created the basic material? And basic material creation doesn't require money. 50s, 60s, 70s, every physician in the medical college in India used to publish. Every pathologist used to publish. No appliances, no tools. They used to publish. This is your mind. And that coherent thinking, good planning of studies, always showed how the healthcare standards are increasing, which are benefiting the people directly first. But secondly, what more, what new, what extra? And the countries, they are prepared to fund for that. So that discrimination between the government and the private is totally gone, except for the infrastructure, sport. Rest, there's nothing, nothing like that actually. You start anything, the grants, they follow. But you'll have to create the basic data here. The startup, initial part, 6 months, 1 year has to come from here. The people like Professor Kokate and the entire faculty, Vice Chancellor, everybody with the open mind, they have already thought of it. I interacted with the people in the evening, I interacted in the morning also. And the leadership is, I think, just a fully committed. That's I saw in my 3 years or 4 hours of interaction with Dr. Patil. So I think an ecosystem, an opportunity, and I think no challenge, I say open opportunity that awaits all of you. My job today is, number 1, to bless the youngsters. Of course, then again, bless all who are juniors to me. I'm also approaching 70, so there are a lot of people who are junior to me. But then, best wishes to the faculty, to the management, and of course, Chancellor and Vice Chancellor, Registrar, and the entire team, BLD. I think that they have an opportunity to do great jobs. But my naman to the people who created this, all his holidays, and all the people who are nurturing the association, because that is the madhyam through which the things are moving. So they are invisible, but they are very much, I sense them. I convey my deep respects to all of them. My greetings, best wishes to all of you again. Let this institution grow, because this is one of the flowers growing in the country. And certainly as an Indian, I feel very happy, and I feel see a lot of potential for this institution. With these words, I'll close my talk. But once again, my best wishes for the success of each of you on an individual front, And individual success automatically comes. It is not at the cost of someone. That's your right. It automatically comes. The God, nature has made that for you. You just do your job and do the best. Best wishes. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with your informative and encouraging words. We'll try our best to stay committed to our works and provide best possible medical care to all those who are in need of it, irrespective of their paying capacities. Now, I request our Honorable Chancellor, Dr. M.B. Patil, to present a memento to our chief guest as a token of gratitude. Thank you, sir. Now, over to Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. M.S. Biradar, to continue the proceedings.
I have the honor to request you, sir, to dissolve the convocation.
I dissolve the convocation.
Thank you, sir. I request everyone to stand up for national anthem and remain standing till the procession leaves the hall. I thank all the parents and the invitees for their presence and cooperation. Photo session for the degree recipients in first session and gold medalist in the second session with the chief guest and chancellor will be near pathology department. Please be in the procession till you reach the venue of photo. It's time to celebrate all the hard work that led to this joyful occasion. Thank you one and all. Have a great day ahead.